The fixtures are out. Another signing is through the door. Roll on July the 30th. Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast covering all things Ipswich Town since 2015. My name is Mikey Pensy-Smith and this is a live Q&A show, Fixtures special. And joining me this evening are a pair of lovely old fixtures, both salivating over a trip to Port Vale in October, Joe Fairs and David Diamond. How are you both? This is when we really start to get excited about the new season, isn't it?
Yes, the chance to plan your next 8-9 months out, isn't it? You can look at your fixture. Oh, that one works, that one doesn't, and hope that you sort of come out on the right side of the fixture god.
Yeah, just the one that sticks out. I know we'll get into in a minute. Is it seems that Bristol Rovers is the long postponed get together that we planned pre-COVID is now on a Tuesday evening. But that's my first glance.
Day.
Yeah, Valentine's Day as well, isn't it? Yeah, but no, you're right. Yeah, exciting. Yeah, this is when it all, for me, it's when it all starts. Yeah, brilliant.
Excellent. And obviously this is a live Q&A show, so we've got a few people watching with us at the moment. I'll just stick up a couple of messages from our viewers. Charlie D, evening everyone. Lee Renshaw's with us. Luke Penning. I mean, I think there was a little bit of criticism that we were 2 minutes late starting.
Mikey was on strike, but we managed to negotiate it.
Yeah, can I put it on record? That wasn't my fault, Rich.
So here's an early one from FPL Tractor for you, Dave. Odds that Dave's landline goes during the Q&A.
That's usually a Sunday evening, to be fair. Usually a Sunday evening.
I felt bad because I'd been instructed by Rich to make sure I look at the camera when the intro's going on. But then he messaged me during the intro saying, "Are you going live?" And I might have looked away for a second. So behind the camera, look.
He's his own worst enemy, isn't he? He really is.
And Joe, it's been a long day for you, hasn't it? Talk us through breakfast for Joe Fairs today.
Yeah, I was down at Portman Road at 7 a.m. for an early start for a bacon roll and a couple of glasses of orange juice with some. There's quite a few fans down there, probably, I don't know, about 60, 70 down there for a breakfast with, well, the sort of fixture release, Simon Milton interviewing Kieran McKenna and Mark Ashton as the fixtures were released, and Mark Steed was also down there, but I'm sure we'll get into more detail as we go through the fixtures.
Absolutely, and you even got to speak to Mark Steed and Kieran McKenna, didn't you, Jay?
Well, Kieran McKenna actually, purely by chance, because Craig was with me as well from the pod, and we were sitting on the sort of edge of one table, and where all the guys were, when they were sort of walking to the stage, I was sort of right in McKenna's eye line, and he sort of came over to me, shook my hand, and started speaking to me. Obviously, he maybe picked me out as a Blue Monday listener or something along those lines. Thought I need to speak to those guys, but no, it's interesting. He made a couple of, just spoke really openly, and sort of an interesting point that I don't think many of us had thought about. I think you used to think, oh, all these big clubs, they go away on tour, they want to keep their squad with them as part of that. But he said, when you're at a big club, you only get a pre-season every other year because of an international tournament. So every second year you get one. So when you're at a big club, you really want that second pre-season to have a look at everyone, because you might not have seen these people for almost 2 years when you're at the sort of very top clubs, the under 23s, under 18s, and obviously that mixed with the World Cup being in November, December, he thinks teams might hold on to players a little bit more to get them through that first part of the season, sit through there, especially the early rounds of the League Cup and things like that. And so, because I'd sort of said, are you happy with the squad? And I think it was just a case of saying, we're happy with what we've done, and we've done a lot more than most in the market have, but it might be right until the end of that window now when the sort of deals at the top can happen. But no, really.
Yes. There it is.
There we go. But yeah, no. I think everyone can see he's sort of a lovely guy and will chat and very open and will talk and doesn't sort of talk down to you, talks across with you about football and things. No, so it's nice to have a little chat there with sort of Kim and Craig.
Excellent, really good. And Scrumpy Daniel Joe has spotted the Benton Coochie shirts in the background.
Yeah, the Coochie shirt is actually a match-worn Sheffield Coochie shirt that I've had in a frame. I got it a little while ago, but it's all been framed up, and the frame is so big. I was like, I'm never going to get it up on a wall anywhere. So if I just take it out of the frame and use it as one of my backdrops every now and again, I think that's a better use for it than just being tucked away somewhere.
Can we turn around the front so we can see the stain of the swan dive, the marking of the swan dive on the front?
Yeah, what game is it from, Joe?
I don't know. There isn't a proper certificate with it, but it was framed sort of like the club's framing of it. But I think they just have the same shirt for the season there. But no, it's nice to get that one up there. The Darren Bent, I actually had that signed on the shoulder by him away at Nottingham Forest. I'd been in the players' lounge after the game, so I'm getting on the coach and ran over and got to sign my shoulder. So it was quite exciting.
Lovely.
FPL lost, as we always used to back then.
The bookies are paying out, Dave.
Yeah, I set that up as soon as I saw your message came up. FPL. I set that up especially for you.
Gave the mother-in-law a text.
Hasn't rung for about 3 weeks. Unbelievable.
Brilliant. So, Dave, you haven't been on, as far as I'm aware, since the new shirts were unveiled. What are your thoughts on being back with the double diamond?
Yeah, I like it. I thought it's a simple design. I think it's sort of well documented. The home shirt seems a bit of a throwback to the perhaps the 91, 92 or the promotion shirt, almost that sort of colourings. Quite like the away shirt, I must admit. I know I think it was you, Mikey, said it's got more of a passing resemblance to Bournemouth, but no, overall, yeah, like it. Yeah, nothing to not like there, I don't think. Simple and classic. That's what we like.
And just on the shirts, Mark Ashton at today's breakfast said that last year they set a record-breaking amount of shirt sales, and that they've sold double that this year already. So I don't know whether he means double the sort of pre-order that we had last year for the shirt, which was a record, or double the total. I'd imagine double the pre-order, but basically
I think sales. I think it's something like 1,800 last year, and it's something like 2,500. It's sales is what I heard. Yeah, but it's considered.
Yeah, he said double what they sold last year, but
yeah,
don't know what context. And also that we're on track for sort of 16,000 season tickets as well.
Yeah,
brilliant. And on the subject of the shirt, Joe, our viewers and listeners are in with a chance of winning one as long as they're subscribing to this channel, right?
Yes, subscribe to this channel and like the video that we did last week, the kit launch video. Just stick a like on that video, and I think there's a tweet as well you need to like, but that and an Instagram and that. But yeah, like the tweet, subscribe to the channel, and watch the video. And last time I checked, there was only sort of about 250 entrants into it, so it's a no-brainer, really. If you just a ticket, and I think when we did this competition last year or the year before, the guy that won it asked us if we could buy his kidder kit, got him a child's kit as well. So there's obviously those options. If you don't think you'd wear the shirt, you could get it for a relation, a present, a child. But go on there, like the shirt, and I think something like 50% of our listeners aren't subscribers. I think the YouTube stats show. So anyone who's listening or watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. It's free, it's easy, it helps us a lot, and it gives you a chance to win a shirt.
When do you actually get hold of the shirt, Joe?
I haven't actually pre-ordered it yet, but I think it's the 30th. I think they come in on the 30th, so next week, next Thursday,
next week.
Yeah, and then they go on general sale the following week on the 7th of July.
I gotta admit, I do like the look of some of that pro training kit's quite smart, isn't it? Always was good, that stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll be buying that.
It'll be all over
next
that,
year,
Mikey.
Dave, when it's
at the Suffolk
exactly.
Show.
I reckon a couple of bits of that, Mike. You could probably get away on the fairways of Woking Golf Club, you know, mate.
It's a good shout. So, Dave, let's before we get into the fixtures, we made another signing on. It was yesterday, Wednesday, wasn't it? Again, pretty left of field. Doesn't have a prolific record, but yeah, talk to us about our new signing.
Yeah, Tyreece John-Jules. Yeah, I mean, I've had heard of him. I didn't fully appreciate that. Am I right, Joe? Well, you might correct me on this. That he made his one and only appearance for Sheffield Wednesday last year against us
at Hillsbury. Yeah, he got injured.
Hillsbury, yeah, and the the 1-0 game. I mean, look, he's obviously got a good pedigree. He's come through the Arsenal academy. I think as again recently signed an extension, Joe.
Yeah, I think another 2-year deal he signed.
So he's quite well thought of. He's played for right through the age groups of England. Not yet to make a full appearance, obviously, for Arsenal. I mean, we know their academy and seen their youth cup teams. I mean, very personally come up against them. So yeah, I've got experience, League One. Just hope he's not another Louis Barry.
Yeah, Joe, how confident are you that he's going to make an impact, or is there a chance that he might just be there as sort of squad filler?
It's difficult, isn't it? But this is I think it's his 5th loan spell, isn't it now? 4th or 5th loan spell.
He's had some injuries.
And he's had injuries across those.
Yeah.
But I think his first loan spell at Lincoln was a success when he went there. Then he had a really good loan spell at Doncaster where he scored 5 or 6 goals and some sort of real highlight reel goals when you see those. He scored there, and then he stepped up to the Championship at the start of last year to Blackpool, and it just didn't really work out from there. So dropped down to Sheffield Wednesday, and like I said, got injured straight away. So I think it's sort of prime for him to have a really good loan spell in this league. And I say, when you look, he's an England under-21 international. I know a lot of players play 16, 17s, 18, 19s, and he was always really highly rated at those age groups. I remember because it was the same age group that Dylan Crowe played in, so I paid quite a lot of attention to that age group, and he was always scoring goals. I think he got something like 9 and 10 for the 18s, but to actually step up and play for the 21s is a big step, because that's almost, they take it out the age groups and start looking at club form for that as well. So he's obviously got a lot of talent, and I think one of the key things which might play into his favour is over the change this season where you can make 5 substitutes in a game rather than just 3. Where I say, if he's obviously a good technical player, but he's very athletic from what I've seen of him. And if you can be changing your sort of front 3 with half an hour left in every game, and you've got the talent to do that and not have a big drop off, that's going to give you a real advantage in games. And I think maybe that change in the sort of rules or legislation has maybe paved the way for a signing like this. But I say there's a chance he comes here, doesn't settle, doesn't get his head on, and doesn't do anything. But you'd hope getting in at this stage of pre-season, so he's going to be going away to Loughborough with us, I think the week after next. So he's going to be all through pre-season and getting to know McKenna's style and seeing how hard he's got to work in pre-season. We'll soon find out about him, and hopefully he'll get us a few goals and help us.
And also, it seems that it's a player that McKenna's kept tabs on. I mean, obviously he's worked closely with these academies, hasn't he? Spurs, Man U, etc. So it's obviously a player he would know and is aware of. So, and obviously thinks he can add something. So yeah, fingers crossed to the lad. He's young enough, and I guess I know I said about Louis Barry, but unlike Barry, he's starting the full pre-season under Kieran McKenna,
a proper manager.
It's kind of alluding to that, Joe. Yeah.
I wonder if there's any chance of a permanent deal as well. I know he's sort of signed 2 years, but 21 now, you're sort of at an age where you should be looking to make your breakthrough. And I think he turns 22 during the season. So if he has a good season here, maybe that, and we go up, maybe it is something that we could look at again.
Indeed. Just a quick question here from Stephen Beals. Still think we need another attacking midfielder / striker? Would you both agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of fits St Selena, doesn't it, to a degree, I guess?
Yeah, no, I think we definitely need another number 10. And I think ideally you move Joe Pigott along and you bring in another striker as well.
Absolutely
again,
right. So this is the Fixtures special live Q&A show. We haven't even mentioned a single fixture yet. So let's get into that now. And Dave, do you ever remember an Ipswich Town season that started in July? Because that's what's happening this time.
No, never. No. I mean, obviously, I suppose that's compounded by you look through the fixtures, and when we all know why, we've only got 2 games scheduled in November. Yeah, no, I've never known it so early. Really not. I mean, crikey, I've known it start as late as August, the corresponding day in August the 29th. I've known it start. Is like when there's been World Cup. I think 82, 81, 82. It started really late. So yeah, no, it's certainly the earliest I've known it, and I guess the players would welcome that. I mean, have they? I mean, again, Joe, you'd take more notice of this. Have the players come back noticeably a week or 2 earlier now at this time, or not?
It's a lot earlier than they've ever come back.
It is.
I was speaking to a friend who plays, and he's like, you sort of see the date, and it's like June the 20th they're going back.
Yeah,
and it's
true.
like normally
Yeah.
sort of first week of July you're going
Yeah.
back. So they've almost like shaved 2 weeks off. I think they're having sort of a week longer pre-season they normally do, and the season starting a week earlier, and it sort of makes it, I don't know. Now this time of year is when they're going back to pre-season. It does feel really early, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it does. And yeah, you just look. I mean, the fixture. It's a great, nice looking fixture. First up, got a bit of history there. Bolton at home. Had some great tussles with them over the years. Just hopefully, we'll get a much better performance and result from the corresponding fixture last season.
And also that was probably one of the only games where we looked poor.
Yeah,
against them under McKenna as well, wasn't it? Away at Bolton, they beat us 2-0, and
they're comfortable.
One of the only sort of 3 or 4 teams that beat us in that half of the season.
So, Joe, what was the reaction in the BT? Is it the BT Suite or the BT
It was
bar?
BT's bar, yeah.
Yeah.
McKenna looked. You sort of saw a sort of grin come over his face. He sort of was really, I think, just excited to see the fixtures because we saw them the same time that they did the first time, and you could see that because they were really studying them. And
yeah, fantastic.
Mark Ashton was saying how the owners are sort of saying, "Come on, you must know someone. You used to be the EFL representative for the league. You must know someone who can give you the fixes." It's like, no, they will not tell you anything, and not just that, you can only make requests. And he said, and then he looked back at the what do you call it? He looks back at the screen and says, and actually we made one request, but that hasn't actually been picked up anyway. So unless he's a very good actor, you could tell he was sort of genuinely. That was the first time they would find it. And I think once you just see the fixtures, it really makes the season feel real, doesn't it? That's
it does.
The first step in that path.
It does. And I think one of the first thoughts for a lot of people was Forest Green away. Cool, fancy that, but that's going to be so hard to get tickets for, isn't it?
What's kind of capacity there, do we think?
I don't think it's many.
5,000.
Burton type capacity, yeah.
I also know that I think Exeter had a lot of problems there, and maybe Bristol City, where they sort of sold the end out, and a little bit like when we played AFC Wimbledon at Kingstonian, and they sell the ground and it has a safety certificate, but the fans, it's not particularly great for the away fans there. It's really oversold, and you are in a non-league ground, and there's no real way of seeing the pitch from there and things. So I imagine there'll be some happy people to get tickets who end up frustrated at what they see when they get there. Probably all right for
nice
us sort of relatively tall blokes. You sort of have a better chance, don't you, in those games?
Tie it in with a long weekend of the Cotswolds. Lovely.
And would you be all over a vegan pie, Dave, if you were lucky enough to get a ticket?
Probably not. No,
they call it
probably
it's
not.
a Q pie, isn't it? They call it.
Yeah, no, I don't think that would quite be my cup of tea. Actually, no.
And somebody mentioned on the Telegram group that first month is quite a good spread of top teams in the league.
Yeah, that's a good comment.
A couple of sort of teams that they could go either way, and then a couple that we should be looking to win comfortably, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some tricky home games there, though, when you look at Bolton, MK, Barnsley. Yeah, the home games are no stroll, are they, really? But you'd hope, you'd pick up some, certainly, hope to win them all, for goodness sake. But yeah, there's could be three easier home games first up. But the away games all look fairly winnable, don't they?
Yep. We did say this last year, though.
As me and you stood at Burton, Joe. Yeah, that's right, to be fair. Watching Fraser miss the pen. Christ.
Scott Fraser, God blimey, I've almost forgotten about him already.
There we go.
Forest Green, 5,000.
Yeah. Blimey.
I reckon you'd probably end up with about 1,000 of that, wouldn't you?
Possibly.
Yeah. We always travel well down south, though, so I think it's going to be. It's going to be a scramble for tickets, but it probably won't be. Probably will be for a lot of games this season.
Make sure you've got your gold card if you want.
I think you probably need a platinum one for that one, Joe. Probably.
Better get mine out of my wallet.
Right, so let's move into September then, and I think there's one fixture that really jumps out, but that's the Sheffield Wednesday away game, followed by Plymouth away. That's going to be a real test, isn't it? That little run of games.
Yeah. Cambridge at home, so score to settle there. Accrington Stanley, score to settle there as well.
This is my stitch up wedding invitation. Wedding in Sheffield on Saturday the 17th of September at 2:30 p.m.
Wow.
Wow.
Brilliant. I seem to remember Benjamin Bloom of this parish had a gig somewhere about a mile and a half from Luton playing.
Luton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he managed to tie it in.
The gold cards currently on sale. I believe they are, Josh.
Think so, yeah.
I believe they are. You have to have a season ticket, of course, to get one.
Yeah.
And I've just realised I didn't talk about the Carabao Cup. That draw was also today. And, I mean, this isn't a huge game for us, but it's probably as good as a first-round Carabao Cup draw can be, isn't it? Colchester at home? Or is there maybe a little bit of unnecessary pressure on us to win?
Certainly going to create some interest, that one, yeah. And I think someone posted earlier, as always with these games, it always comes in that sort of first week or so of the season. Be interesting to see what sort of strength side is put out for that one. But certainly, I mean, even from the friendly last season, Cole, you will be well up for it, won't they?
Well, it's one of the things when you watch, because I was watching the draw at the time, but I was obviously on a delay because all of a sudden everyone started texting saying Collier at home, and then about 4 ties later it came out. But you see like Cardiff, like the first team drawn out is Cardiff, and then it's Exeter. You just think, God, you do not want to be having a long trip to the southwest. One game, then you got to go miles down to the southwest on Tuesday night, come back up, then go straight there again Saturday. You want a home tie. It's a winnable tie. We should beat Colchester. It's probably the tie that's going to bring the biggest away following out of the teams that were there, other than if you'd have drawn Norwich in there. But so I think it's probably the best tie we could have got. Should win at home, no travel, decent crowd, chance to sort of see the old Ipswich boys there, and I'm sure they'll be bang up for it, which will be a good test because I'd imagine
be good.
We'll be making 10, 11 changes, and your sort of Cameron Humphreys and your Elkin Baggett's and stuff are going to have to stand up to some sort of proper season pros out there, and it'll be a good test for him.
Absolutely, and the old boys will get a good reception by and large.
Yeah, of course, yeah, they should, and if they should do as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's dip into the comments. Plenty of people watching us live at the moment, including Ian Barron. It's the Mad Darlow fan back. Hope you're well. Brilliant. Great to have you with us again.
Just a question: did Darlington still have that massive stadium, which was the George Reynolds Arena? I know
George Reynolds, wasn't it? Yeah.
The old safe cracker.
I seem to remember they had
That's
their own,
right. Yeah.
They had their own wine as well at one point.
Really?
Yeah. You can still find them, I'm sure.
Probably a vintage now.
Mikey's got a few bottles in his cellar, no doubt.
He says no, unfortunately. Obviously moved out.
That's a shame.
Yeah. So HCH 9990, after an encouraging start to McKenna's tenure, we tailed off badly last season. Do you think the board will be impatient, twitchy if we have a poor start like last year? I'm yet to see a plan B from McKenna. I think first of all, we're really confident we're not going to have such a poor start this time, aren't we?
Yeah, I think wind back 12 months, and perhaps if we were doing this 12 months ago, we probably said exactly the same thing. No, yeah, I think so. No, I honestly cannot for the life of me foresee why we should have a start like we had all the first, 10 games, whatever it was, before we won our first game, as we had last season. Crikey, no.
And I don't think that I don't think we tailed off badly. We just sort of lost that game at Oxford, or let that late goal in
that was
Oxford.
a killer, wasn't it? That was a killer.
Came out and beat Plymouth, and then you look at the league table, and we'd sort of got further away from the playoffs despite beating a good team at home, hadn't we? And I think it was just frustrating, and you lose that edge a little bit, didn't you? And I felt like we just lost that edge. It's only really Cambridge, which was a poor performance. And
and I don't think we particularly threw the towel in, did we? I think you're right, Joe. I think we just lost that. We never really got that momentum.
Just that 1%, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kukamoa says we flatlined over the last month of the season. Yeah. You've got a big fan watching, Joey.
I think I had a little bit
your
of
burner
Joey.
account.
Yeah, I was just messaging on the side. No, I had a couple of Joey was asking a couple of questions on Twitter last night, so yeah, I had a little bit of back and forth with him, but glad to see that it went down well.
Yeah, it's always good to hear that people don't think that we talk complete garbage as well. Sean Young, thoughts on Telford, chaps?
Now
I know, Sean.
I think we should stop signing free transfers because we're obviously on the cheap, and we should go out and sign Telford on a free transfer.
I thought he meant the town in Shropshire. What? It's all right, isn't it?
Right. So, yeah, that's exactly what Lee Renshaw said, Dave. He said,
Oh,
"It's in the
West Midlands.
Sean."
It's
Yeah.
Shropshire.
Yeah,
Well,
it is
my
Shropshire,
geography,
isn't it?
awful.
Right. So let's go back into these fixtures. We've got to October now. Let's just remove that comment. Getting rid of a little bit of rust here. So October starts with Portsmouth at home. It's always a big fixture, that one. And the first visit of our first meeting with Derby County for a few years.
Yeah.
What sort of state do we expect them to be? I know it's impossible to say at this stage, but Joe, what are you expecting?
I think you'd have liked to get them a little bit earlier, wouldn't you? If that game could have been a month earlier, I think we'd have caught them in a worse state.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think they'll force. They'll be challenging. I would still think they would.
And Dave, I'll treat you to an oatcake if you come up to Port Vale on a Tuesday night in October with me.
Yeah, again, like the vegan pie, Mikey. I might give that a miss in October. Yeah.
I'll try and find the comment now. Somebody pointed out that we've only here we go. Jack Hurst, only 2 Tuesday night home games this season.
Yeah, that's right.
But there'll be the Carabao Cup game against Colchester and countless Pizza Cup trophy games. That's probably why
group games, isn't it? There.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess if England get through, the Saturday game during the World Cup will move as well to a midweek game as well. So hopefully we end up with a few more, because I do love a game under the lights. And maybe we might even do this amazing thing of getting to the FA Cup third round and have to have a couple of games rearranged.
Oh, come on now. You're really getting carried away now. Come on. About
Brilliant.
time.
So you mentioned the World Cup there. As we go into November, so there's only two fixtures in November, but
there's an FA Cup.
I think that's because of the FA Cup games.
Yeah,
there will be one.
There'll be All right, Dave. Yeah, there'll only be one.
Yeah,
be knocked out at home against Carlisle.
So it would be the FA Cup game. Will be it's usually the first week in November, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the
maybe
second
the 26th
one will be
must be the
yeah.
So how, Joe? How you're a big England fan? How do you feel about the World Cup sort of going on in the background while we're trying to enjoy?
I don't like it. Season? We should be enjoying the World Cup now. Sort of the beer garden should be full, and it's just I don't know. I'm sure once the World Cup gets here, I'll be right into it, as I always am. But it doesn't feel right being in the middle of a season and sort of and even like I say. I know our games are continuing in the background, so it's not too bad. But the big teams, where the Premier League's going to start and then stop for like 6 weeks, effectively, it just seems. Yeah. I know it's all kinds of wrong, and the World Cup should never ever have gone to Qatar, and the people that sent it there were nearly all corrupt and are sort of in prison or indicted or dead now. But it was an absolute joke. I remember when the decision was made. It was sort of a snowy day.
It was the same day as Russia.
They announced them both. They should never have done both of them together, because that just led to more corruption. And it was just an absolute disgrace. And it still is a disgrace.
When is the actual final? When is the World Cup final scheduled to take
place?
It's
the 18th of December.
Or was it 18th?
18th of December. My God.
It's later than that, isn't it?
It might be.
I think it's like the 21st.
That is going to be so weird. So strange.
The Premier League teams got Boxing Day games on.
Yeah, that's right.
So if England get to the final, you're going to have a load of players coming back and played the World Cup final on the Sunday. They've got to play Premier League game on the Friday.
I haven't watched England. I haven't watched England recently, Joe. I don't think there's any danger of that, perhaps. But anyway,
we're a tournament team, aren't we now?
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully one of our viewers can confirm whether that's right. I think I fly. I'm out there for the whole tournament, so.
Get out of town, are you? Are you really?
I'm going to have an incredible tan when I get back.
God,
I won't tell you who I'm working for after the comments that were just made. So let's go back into those, because we didn't really talk about December.
Boxing Day at home is always good.
Boxing Day at home,
yeah,
and then a decent away game while people are still off. Well, a lot of people are still off work.
Yeah, that's not. So if Monday's Boxing Day, so Tuesday will be a holiday, Wednesday. So yeah, that's not a. So that will be an evening kickoff, won't it? That one, presumably. Yes, must be.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a
oh,
midweek
perhaps,
It's
game.
not a
yeah.
holiday, is it? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It will be for me, but
Yeah.
not everyone shuts down at Christmas, do they?
No.
No. I mean, again, looking at those, Wickham away, a great result there last year. Peterborough home, Fleetwood home. Yeah, I don't think it's anything too untoward there. I mean, probably our two of our best away performances there come side by side again, don't they? Wickham and Portsmouth.
Indeed. So I was right. The final is is Saturday the 18th. So
I hoped you would be as you're going there.
Sunday the 18th.
Sunday the 18th.
Yeah.
So Wickham is the day before. So picture this: we win away at Wickham to go top of the league.
Hop
and
over
we
to
win the World Cup
Heathrow.
the next day.
Leave Wickham straight to Heathrow on a
You both
plane,
fly to Qatar. Yeah.
first class. Come back, put my house on the market, and get divorced.
Wow. FPL Tractor League Cup third round is Tuesday the 20th or Wednesday the 21st of December. That's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
So late.
What the hell?
The third round's normally like the end of September, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah,
be a
they
The
strange-
finals normally like February, isn't it? So
End of
that's
Feb. Yeah. Yeah, those games, those EFL games usually play quite quickly. You're right. Certainly before the end of September. Bloody hell. It's all over the place.
Well, when we played Man United in the third round, that was like before the clocks had even changed.
Mid-October,
I think it was end of September.
Oh, hang on. What the one? I'm thinking that when we won, the one up there when we lost 3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely set. Yeah, you're right. It was September, probably mid-September.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, and let's wrap up this sort of World Cup December chat with the potential of Wes Burns being in the Wales squad. Now the confirmed squads are 26. Joe, I think I saw you say in the Telegram that you're still not sure he'll quite make it.
No, I was speaking to a big Wales football fan the other day, and they basically are almost like a club side with the way they have it. And he said that the difference between 23 and 26 doesn't really make a difference to Burns because there's effectively 4 wing backs who will be in the squad, which I think it was Sorba Thomas, Norrington Davies, Connor Roberts, and one other. And he said that they'll be in the squad. And if the 23 to 26, the extra 3 players, they're not really positions you need to cover because like Chris Gunter will be in the squad and he'd be able to cover that from the sort of centre-back role.
Yeah.
That he doesn't really see a way other than one of those players not playing at all, being out of the team and sort of losing form, and Burns starting the season as he finished the last one, or an injury. He doesn't see that Burns would be the sort of 24th, 25th, 26th man. But obviously this is just a sort of well-informed fan speaking as opposed to Robert Page. But
that surprises me because when only obviously played in friendlies and stuff, but when he has played, he certainly hasn't disgraced it. Shown up really well, hasn't he?
No, definitely, yeah.
Indeed, he has. Sorry, FPL Tractor, correction from him. It's the League Cup 4th round. So
okay,
after all that,
not for us to worry about.
It's just the same as it was then. Yeah.
Brilliant. So let's talk a little bit about the aforementioned Telegram page. It's a constant stream of information and chat, isn't it? Christoph Berra's scuttling off to
Christoph Berra's got off to put the light on.
Yeah, Berra's always good with his hands, Joe.
Poor guy.
Just going to talk through the Telegram. So we're all a part of it. There's loads of different groups, isn't there? And you can enjoy it. The first 14 days is on us. You can enjoy that for free. How much have you enjoyed being a part of it, Joe? You get access to Joe Fairs almost 24/7.
Yeah, just I only sleep for 1 hour a night, so I'm offline at that time. But other than that, I'll be there answering questions.
It is incredible. The amount of traffic is unbelievable. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, like the main chat is the ITFC chat, but then there's also a sort of cricket and a general chat.
Non-chat. Talking about cricket? No, not talking about cricket. We'll have to discuss that dismissal today after this.
Yeah, but then come Saturday, the match day chat will be up and firing again, which is which is good because a lot of messages can fly back and forth in that. But no, it's like I say, it's just a good community of Ipswich fans, isn't it? Just chatting, and there's a lot of info in there. I think there's about 50 of us in there now, so it's
it's good.
sort of pops in there, and there's some people with.
It's good. You can just sort of come and go as you please, and if you're sat waiting for a train, there's always so much stuff on there to read through, isn't there? You can just catch up if you haven't looked for a day or two.
Yeah, with regard to town and media and stuff like that, it should be championing them. But you see that Life's a Pitch is back this season as well, isn't it? Mark Murphy and Butcher and Tractor Boy, etc. Phil Ham, so that would be
just all goes to show the added interest now.
I think so.
They've managed.
I think the BBC were very sort of very over the top with maybe some of their COVID policies, because I've sort of been to feel that there was stuff like they were only allowed one person in a studio at any time, so it's like the show didn't really work having people dialing in, so they cancelled it. But no, it's great to see that back, because that is a really good show, and I know we have the match day pod that a lot of people listen to go into the games on Friday or Saturday, but having that as well there is just excellent. And Butcher's brilliant on there, isn't he?
Oh, spikes the interest. That's really good.
Lovely. So moving into 2023, you'll be up in Lincoln, Dave, for New Year's Eve.
Oh dear, yeah, Lincoln New Year's Day. Blimey, yeah.
It's a similar time of year we played them and lost 5-3, and then saw Paul Lambert sign a new 5-year deal 2 days later.
Yeah, we did. That was that game. You're right.
Is that what we're going to think of every New Year's Day now as Ipswich Town fans? Is Lambert's 5-year contract?
Honestly, we think of that. We think of 5-0 defeats at Port Vale. Yeah.
And then you see Morecambe on the 7th of January, and it's like probably almost sort of 20 years to the day that we played them when they were a non-league side and we were in the Premier League.
Wow.
You're right, in the Cup. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Shout.
They brought a really big following as well, didn't they?
So we played them at their place as well, didn't we? I think we played them twice, once at their place and once at our place.
Yeah, we played them at their place when we were the season we finished 5th. And then I think we might have been back in the Championship when we played them at home, but we were still like a big Championship club.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, any like we owe Oxford one, don't we? But there's
another 0-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, that month doesn't look.
No, it's not too bad, is it?
Bad, is it?
Yeah. Stretching our lead at the top as we speak by that month.
Indeed. So let's dip back into the questions. Tom Lane, lots of talk about us heading off at the end of last season. We started falling away as soon as Edmondson got injured. Don't understate how big his return to fitness will be. He's not actually in full training yet, is he? But he should be fit for the Bolton game, right?
Yeah, well, he's I think the Bolton game was his debut last year, wasn't it? When him and Walton came in and struggled, but no, he so he had a boot on, but that's now off. He's back at the club. So if he hasn't got a boot on now, and we've got 6 weeks to start the season, you can't imagine he's not going to be fit for that. It's just how many minutes he can get into himself between now and then. So he won't play this Saturday, but we'll see where we go from there. But I think we saw some stats, didn't we, a few weeks ago? The difference between George Edmondson being in the team and Cameron Burgess being in the team with regards to points dropped from winning positions. And it was something like, with Edmondson in the team, it was almost like 6 points from 20 games. So something really silly where he makes a massive difference. Whether that's obviously his ability, he's a very, very good player, but his character, his leadership.
A talker, isn't he?
Along those sides. Because I know Lee Evans started last season as captain, didn't he? And then obviously Sam Morsey took it over. But when Sam Morsey was suspended, it was George Edmondson that had the armband, not Lee Evans. So for a young guy, he's got a big character as well, and I think that will help. Him being back is a big issue. Him missing games will be a big issue. So hopefully that isn't the case.
Indeed, and Charlie D says same could be said about Lee Evans. I know a lot of people aren't completely sold on him, but
no, I'd say that. I'd go along that also. I think he was just sort of growing into that role alongside Morsey when he got the injury. Yeah, I think he was certainly a miss.
I think it was more just that there was a bit of a downgrade from Evans to sort of a back into Ronel Mazzuni, sort of experience-wise as well. But I think it's going to be Don Ball and Sam Morsey in midfield this year. When you see what Don Ball's played 100 games in the Championship over the last 3 seasons, and you don't come and sign for a League One
Not
team
to
to sit on the
play.
bench, do you? And I think just a lot of games sort of missed a bit of physicality, a bit of mobility, and I think that Don Ball's going to give you that, and Lee Evans doesn't always.
But what a fantastic player to have available. Don Ball's not going to be able to play every single match, is he?
Yeah, you can see the squad. The squad is strong already.
Tom Lane, he's really high on Edmondson. Highest average rating of any of our centre backs last season, and tops Wolfenden. He played purely under McKenna. Fridge is outstanding. I think we're all in agreement there. He's a terrific centre back, and can't wait to see him back playing. Although he was pretty good on the co-commentary for the Charlton home game. I'm guessing you guys were at that game, so you didn't hear it.
No, I missed that. Yeah, obviously
he was very entertaining, as you'd expect him to be. Really slotted into that position well. John Abbott says Morsey will be looking forward to playing Accrington next season. Yeah, I guess you'd probably back him for a first goal scorer in that one, won't you?
Yeah,
and to get a yellow card.
No,
the first goal scorer / yellow card double.
Gamble responsibly. So let's go into February now, and there's that Tuesday night away game at Bristol Rovers. We're also
Sheffield Wednesday home. Whoa.
Sheffield Wednesday home, Milton Keynes away in February. It looks like a big month. They obviously all are, and Cambridge away won't be easy either, because they had a decent season last year, and they obviously treat it like it's a bit of a local derby, don't they?
Yeah, they're well up for that. Yeah.
Who do you think will be a surprise package this year, gents? We'll start with you, Dave. In terms of opposition teams rather than our squad.
Looking through,
Fleetwood have made a couple of signings, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They have. I mean, a club like Bristol Rovers with a bit of momentum coming up, will get, if they do get a bit of momentum, get a few wins. Obviously, they're very sort of vociferous following, etc. So I'd say, maybe as an outsider, someone like them coming through, perhaps.
I think maybe I don't know where they're seen in the odds, but I think Bolton. I think they were excellent after Christmas last year.
I wouldn't say that would be a surprise to me, though. Not.
Yeah, but I think they'd be competing for the top 2 would be a surprise. I don't think many would put them there, but I think that's where they'll be. I think I'd say they had a brilliant record, and under Everett in League 2, they came from absolutely nowhere the second half of the season, and whether they're just a slow starter who will get better, or whether they'll be able to carry that form on into this season because they've kept the sort of majority of their squad together. But I think that'll be a really good sign.
I haven't noticed whether they signed anyone, Joe. Have you?
I think they made a couple of signings, but I couldn't say with great confidence on those.
Right, Norman Greenwald. So this is reacting to the conversation that we had where Joe suggested that Ball will be the man that starts alongside Morsey. Could you see a change of formation to allow all 3? Probably unlikely with all of the sort of 10s that we're probably going to have, isn't it?
I think you could go with like a 4-3-3 effectively, couldn't you? And have those 3 in the middle and sort of 2 wide men up there. But I just think those 3, I think you need somebody with a little bit more forward, maybe an Idris El-Mazouni or a Cameron Humphreys or someone like that who's sort of more able to get forward and score goals in there.
Lee Renshaw says if Ndaba starts well in pre-season, he'd be an upgrade over Burgess. We're all quite excited about Ndaba, aren't we, and what he could potentially bring. Was
it you, Joe, that said that he's the sort of player that if he does starts the season well, he'll be a fixture?
I think he's going to be I think if he finds a way into the team, I think it'll be quite hard to dislodge from it. That lovely sort of left foot, that balance that gives you across the midfield.
Yeah.
And I think what Lee says is correct. That if he starts well in pre-season, he'd be an upgrade over Burgess. Not because I think Burgess is a poor player, but I just don't think he's a Kieran McKenna player, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe not. Burgess is a head it and kick it centre back.
He's a bit more than that. He's got a lovely left foot, Burgess. I think he's got a little bit more than that. But
slow at turning. Isn't
I wouldn't say exactly, Joe. I'm not saying he's certainly not as athletic, I would say.
JG, just a little transfer rumour. Seeing we're linked with Morgan Rogers of Man City. What do we know about him?
Well, he scored that incredible goal, didn't he, at Portman Road for Lincoln when they beat us under Michael Appleton a couple of years ago. They beat us 1-0, and he went to Lincoln, had a brilliant loan spell, and then last year was at Bournemouth, but just didn't quite get into the team there. I think they'd signed couple of extra players and somebody did really well and just stayed in the team. Anthony there.
I think he might have potentially picked up an injury, but yeah, I remember in that Lincoln game he was class.
Yeah, and I think he's one that because obviously we've got the West Brom connection there. Man City signing from West Brom, and I think he's one that we'd be going all out to get. If there's a chance that we could get him, we would be after him. And I know that Swansea are interested, and also Blackpool, where obviously Michael Appleton is now, who had him at Lincoln. So it's a case of can we compete with those? Maybe not if it's a loan. Man City do like to try and sell players once they realise they're not going to be good enough for them. Yeah. So if it's a big fee, a sort of 3-4 million fee, would we be able to pay that? We're probably more likely to be able to than sort of Blackpool or Swansea.
What's his age? What's his age, Joe? Like 20, early 20s?
20, yeah. I think he's only like 20. He's young.
20. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's a guess 20, but he's around there. But I think he'd be seen as one that you could buy for sort of 4 million maybe. And if you get up with him this year and play in the Championship, he could be worth 20. He's that sort of player, isn't he?
Yeah.
We've got such well-informed viewers and listeners, including Luke Penning says Bolton have re-signed James Trafford on loan from Man City, the goalkeeper, and they've got the young right-back Conor Bradley from Liverpool. Only business they've done so far, but it's still so early. But that's why it's nice to be in this position where we've made 4 signings and we're probably only looking at 2, 3 maximum, don't we think?
How many had we made? And we made it all in a rush, though. I was going to say, how many had we made by the time we started pre-season last year? Do we think?
I don't think it was many, was it? Because we signed
Burns very
pre-season.
Early. There was only 12 players when we started pre-season, and that included like Brett McGavin, Armando Dobra, people who then went out on loan, didn't they? So we only really had about 8 or 9 players when we started pre-season last year. Now you look at the squad, and it's really, really good shape to start pre-season, isn't there?
Yeah. No excuses. That shouldn't be. No excuses, really.
Norman asked, the way Ashton spoke about getting quality players this summer, he's been underwhelmed by the business so far. What do you think about our new transfers?
I think Freddie Ladapo, I think will turn out to be a good signing again. He scored goals at Championship, certainly scored goals at League One. Obviously seemingly had a well publicised falling out along the way with Rotherham, and was seemingly, or his agent was, sort of itching for a move. So I think he'll do well. Don Ball, I spoke, as Joe said, I spoke to a QPR friend of mine, and he really rates him. And I think the overlying thought there is that a bit disappointed that he's going, actually. Sort of heart and soul, blood and guts type player. He said should do really well for us. So that's quite good. And the other two, really, I don't really know enough about, other than obviously John-Jules, as we said, really good pedigree, Arsenal Academy. So you'd expect that, again, another player that can develop over the season. And Greg Lee, again, really from my point of view, don't really know that much about him. Seemingly athletic, left-sided player.
Never trust a man with 2 surnames, though. 2 first names. Easy for me to say.
So I mean, I can see what you mean. Sort of underwhelming. They're just not. I mean, I know we spoke about. There was talk going back sort of end of last season about marquee signings and stuff like that. But you look at, as Joe said, you look at the overall strength of the squad already with these 4 added to it, and it's pretty impressive.
I said, and Ball was on Talk Sport a little while ago saying he'd been speaking to Championship clubs, and I'd imagine that both Don Ball and Freddie Ladapo are getting Championship wages as well. I'd imagine they're good. I think they're very good signings. Those 2 very smart signings. Greg Lee, I don't know a huge amount about, but I spoke to 2 Morecambe fans about it, and they both said that other than Cole Stockton, who obviously had the season of his life, he was their best player last year, and just a really, really good footballer, and should be able to step up. Like I say, ultimately, Morecambe only finished about 10 places below us last year, and he was brilliant for them. And like I say, I don't know a huge amount about John-Jules, but I've sort of said what I know about
moving. And who do you see moving out, Joe?
Well, I think there's Hladky actually. TWTD posted that that's close with Aberdeen.
Yeah,
I think they want to. We're holding out for a bit of a fee. They want to pay 100,000, but TWTD seems to think it's going to be a bit more than that, 150, 200,000. We paid 300 for him last year, and Aberdeen have just received £6.5 million for the guy they've sold to Liverpool. So they've obviously got a bit of cash, so we can sort of play a little bit hardball on that one, try and extract some of their money effectively from there.
For once,
I think there's players. I think probably all of these players, if we would get an offer for, we'd sell. And I think it's probably Cameron Burgess, Matt Penny, maybe Raheem Harper. I couldn't say for definite. Yeah, Joe Pigott, Armando Dobra. And then I think it's probably those players that if you could get an offer for and sort of take on their contracts, you'd probably let them go.
Raheem
Maybe
Harper,
not Raheem Harper.
Where's he going to play? You look at that lad, and you see so much potential, so much raw potential that you got to think. I'd be very disappointed if he went. You got to work with someone like that. I think. Wow.
He's got a big opportunity now, hasn't he?
Yeah. Kyle
Edwards.
Yeah.
Just before we go back into the fixtures, Joe, this was a no, isn't it? You didn't see the dugout or the scoreboard progress?
No, because we were up in the BT's bar rather than the Bobby Robson suite, so you couldn't see the scoreboard or anything from there.
Can you see? You've been down the Planet Blue, Joe, lately? Can you see the progress on the progress on the dugouts?
The upstairs has been shut for a while.
Okay.
I think another player that maybe could potentially go would be Kane Vincent-Young as well.
Yeah.
I think if you got an offer for him in, I think he'd go.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these players, you just forget about the depth of this squad. Already it's ridiculous, really. It really is. Crikey.
Let's go back into these fixtures. So we've done February. Here's March. Only 4 games in March. Burton, Bolton away, Shrewsbury at home, Barnsley away.
Winning your home games.
Tough away games. So you've got to win the home ones.
We've got quite a kind run in, I think, over the last sort of, especially at home.
Yeah, but there's a stacked April.
Christ almighty. Like that.
There's 7 matches in April. Starting with Derby away, then Wickham at home, then we've got Cheltenham, Charlton, Port Vale, Peterborough, Exeter, and then finally Fleetwood.
I mean, certainly 3, you'd think, but the last 2 home games look fairly friendly, don't they?
Kieran McKenna was talking about a promotion party at the beach at Fleetwood.
Yeah, a couple of weeks after FA Cup semi-final. Yeah,
it's my birthday weekend, so I'll be up there celebrating us being back.
Yeah, you'll be up in Blackpool anyway, won't you, Joe?
Yeah, back in the medium time. Yeah,
brilliant.
What are your realistic hopes for Fleetwood away? What if I was to offer you now, Joe and Dave, that we're in the playoffs at Fleetwood away? Would you take it at this stage?
Well, so by the time we play Fleetwood away, we're 4th, 5th, and can't be. We're nailed on in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do you know what? After the last few seasons, yes.
And I think it has to be remembered that we've been in this league for 3 years and we've not got into the
playoffs.
Not got into the playoffs yet, so you probably would take that. But
you've
got to be aiming for the top 2. You've got to be.
You can imagine even the excitement last year going into March when it was still a really sort of slim hope. I mean, can you imagine the excitement and the interest around the club now if we are comfortably in or even pushing top 2? I mean, crikey, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, there's another thing. So bits of what was said earlier coming back to me a bit, but sort of Kieran McKenna was saying how when he came in, you sort of looked at the table and thought 2 points per game will get you to 74 points. That will see you into the playoffs, and then it ended up being 83. And you sort of realised every game you've just got to try and win every game. There's no trying to settle for 2 points a game. It isn't going to work. You just got to try and win every single game, and that was quite good to hear.
It is. It's just getting that momentum and mentality. And you spoke earlier, Joe, about the points we threw away from winning positions. I mean, my goodness me, you just need to be just a bit. And there were signs of it last year. With the characters. We said I think Edmondson was I think he's probably right. Lee, wasn't it? Quite a big part of that. Just having the mental strength for the character to see out these games. And you pick up those points, and you're going to be close.
We can but hope. Just going back to that question then, with just a quick yes or no, would you take being in the playoff positions but not being assured going up to Fleetwood on Joe's birthday weekend?
Oh, no.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, I'd still take it, wouldn't you?
Joe would love that. Yeah, I think so. Just, yeah. Again, just going by previous seasons, yeah. Yeah, just to be in there with a shout, yeah.
Right, so let's dip back into these questions. Please do keep them covered.
Sure.
Neil Johnson, thoughts on Dobra, rumoured to be going to Chesterfield, seems to have gone backwards and well down the pecking order. It's a little bit of a strange one for me, that, Joe, because Dobra didn't really seem to get many opportunities under Cook when he was Ipswich manager.
In fairness, he did have a really good pre-season under Cook, and I think it was only because of the way the transfer market fell, where we ended up signing Louis Barry, Sonny Aluko, Connor Chaplin, that it was seen as the best move for Dobra to go and get out to a league club, and there was a lot of competition which Colchester beat off to get him there, but it just didn't work out for him at all at Colchester. I think there must have been some personal issues, I think, there, because he just didn't play at all from January and was training with their reserves, came back and trained with our reserves, and I know he's been away on international duty, so he probably wouldn't be back yet, but he's not. I don't think he's seen as a first teamer here. He was stuck in the 23s last year. And I think it'd be good to get a move for him, but I think he could probably do a bit better than Chesterfield. I think he could probably get into League Two, but some of these big conference teams are paying more money than the League Two teams, and I'm sure Chesterfield are spending good money there. So if, like I say, Paul Cook knows him, I think it would probably be a good move for him. Join David Clements up there.
He probably needs to move away, Joe, doesn't he? Just to give him a kickstart again.
Well, I don't think he's going to be good enough here for what we want to be. No. I think his chance was last year after that pre-season, and we went to Burton. He started there. He started against Newport in the cup game as best player there. I thought sort of did brilliantly, but didn't get the opportunities he deserved last year. His form earned him a loan move, and then the loan move didn't work out, and they're the fine margins that football careers are sort of made.
I just think some trust went between him and Cook, didn't it? He just didn't trust him, I think, hence the loan move. And yeah, as you said, players joined, and yeah, he's totally out of it now, I'd say. Like I said, a player that needs, obviously is a big talent there, somewhere there, needs to move away to start all over again.
And I think when you look at the sort of profile of player we're getting, it's that. There's a lot of physicality we're looking at, isn't there? And I don't think that's just for League One. I think that will go through as well, because that's the one thing you notice when you go up the leagues, just that increased physicality of teams. And like I say, when you compare Idris El Mazouni to Armando Dobra, there's no sort of competition, is there?
No. Had another correction here, this time from John Abbott. Bolton also signed Jack Iredale too, who's a very decent fullback.
Okay, well, by the time we finish, Bolton would have signed about 6 players. I heard Scott Twine's going there. No.
Tom Lane says marquee signings won't be made until the end of July. Everything has to filter down from the Premier League.
Good point.
Yeah, that Selena thing, Joe. Do you think that will drag on and on, or?
I think that we'll be trying to sign. Well, like I said, I think you mentioned above Morgan Rogers. I think you don't sign both of them. And if you think there's any chance to get Morgan Rogers on a permanent, you maybe go for him over Bersant Selena. And if you don't get him, then you try and sign Bersant Selena.
I don't think anyone would be disappointed.
Yeah, I would take Selena back in a heartbeat.
Yeah, class.
Paul Strutt, evening all. Evening, Paul. Have Sheffield Wednesday had a better transfer window than us after today? I think so. Naturally, I hope I'm wrong. I mean, we looked like we had a fantastic transfer window a year ago, didn't we?
Yeah, they've got very experienced, haven't they? But you sign David Stockdale at 37 years old, Michael Smith at 30, and give him a rumoured to be a 3-year contract on sort of 12, 15 grand a week. Hickway is 30 as well, as he.
Smith's
so they're
decent.
sort of they're good players, but they've only done it at Rotherham. They haven't done it anywhere else, have they? And
True.
That's I think they've made some good signings, but they're also gone a little bit sort of very risky with what they've done. If they don't get the top 2 this year, they're going to be in a struggle after this.
Does that actually mean Kieran Westwood's finally retired?
I think he'd retired. I think he wasn't there last year, but I think he did come back a couple of times.
He came back. Sure, he did.
Was it at QPR? I think he came back actually.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
LG, I've heard we're signing Hurahan on a free. Have you heard this, Joe?
What? I haven't heard that. No,
I mean, maybe 12 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I think he'd be a decent player if you could get him, because he's real championship quality, but maybe he's getting to that latter end of his career, sort of player that you could bring on at 60 minutes. And like I said, we talk about set pieces.
Was it Keane or Gill?
Absolute wand. It was
Keane.
Roy Keane brought him in, didn't he?
He always brought him in, didn't he? Yeah.
He was actually on the bench when we beat Arsenal in the League Cup semi-final.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So King Animator looking forward to Bristol Rovers away. Yeah, get in your comments what game you're most looking forward to, and I'll try and read as many as I can.
Valentine's Day. You sure?
He's maybe based down in the southwest.
Yeah, I'm sure
And
he is. Yeah.
there's plenty of football romantics amongst us, Dave.
The last time I remember going to an away game on Valentine's Day was Doncaster away, and we beat them 6-0, and Conor Wickham scored a hat trick.
Joe.
I did Fulham away when Daryl Murphy scored a double.
Yeah.
Did
That was a very rainy Saturday.
Oh, I did that as well, actually, and I had to sort of sober up
Did you
to
do the
go
boat
out.
trip? Were you on the
did
boat,
the boat
Joe?
trip? Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
of course you
me and my
were.
mate had to go back and pick up our partners for an evening out and sort of try and sober up for it.
Yeah, yeah. I had a similar experience that Saturday. But what a day that was! We
What a
were
day!
absolutely flying.
He
at
was
that
on
stage.
fire. On fire.
Adam Flatt, more chances Shania Twain than Twine. I think he's probably right. And there we go. That doesn't impress me much.
There we go.
From this moment on, nobody should mention Shania Twain and Scott Twine in the same sentence.
Lee Renshaw says he wouldn't be disappointed with Shania.
My parents were on a cruise recently, and Shania Twain was on the boat with them. And my mum has told me ever since how lovely she was and how she chatted to everyone, and she was walking around with her little dog on the boat.
Oh wow, okay. What was she? I assume she was performing, or just
no? She was just a guest.
Passenger?
She was just a guest, and then she
Yeah.
did do a couple of impromptu performances, and
Yeah.
she sort of just said to people, "Oh, you can film it, don't put it up on social media." So my mum has shown me countless videos of Shania Twain singing, which is really exciting. Obviously,
wow. That's fantastic.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
If he brings Selena back, McKenna better give him the Adele to rat treatment.
I
Warnock
love
spoke
that.
about. Too ineffective when he drops deep. Need him running at centre backs.
No, you just need to get him on the ball wherever it is on the pitch for me.
Yeah, that's what they did with Tarat, wasn't it? HCH looking forward to Port Vale.
I've never heard that in the same sentence.
Yeah.
On New Year's Day. Was it? No, it's Lincoln New Year's Day. When was
Port Vale's that Tuesday night we've got booked today.
Oh, that's right, that Tuesday night.
A rough old place up at Port Vale, isn't it?
Yeah. I've never seen so much dog dirt in my life as when I went to Port Vale.
I've been
on the
Paris.
pitch, sure.
Not on the pitch, no. Around. Michael Warner, morning all from Brisbane. Signings we've made so far are for now, not the future. Norwich in 2 seasons is the game I'm looking forward to. There we have it.
Yeah.
Why not next season?
Yeah, I was going to say, why not next season? Oh, because obviously Norwich will get promoted again. Yeah, true.
And then we'll see them in the Premier. Yeah, then they'll get relegated, and we'll be passing them into the Premier League.
Nice.
Sean's looking forward to Charlton away. That's if he's allowed out. HCH, new ground for him would be Port Vale.
Vale Park.
It's a decent away end. Although it looks, when I was watching the playoffs, it looked like they've swapped where the away fans are from where they were previously. But that might just be that they've moved the camera. I don't know.
And you haven't been there for 25 years.
Yeah, but I don't think there's been much change in infrastructure at Port Vale in that time. Right, so we'll finish it there, shall we, on Port Vale chat? That's what we've got to look forward to.
Port Vale dog dirt.
Right, so please give this video a like if you've enjoyed watching it on YouTube. Join us on Telegram. Just see what it's like. It's only 14 days. It's not going to cost you anything. And please subscribe. Make sure you're subscribing and you're in with a chance of winning that beautiful new Ipswich shirt.
Home or away.
Home or away, yeah. I think, yeah.
And actually, if we get to 3,000, there could be one home and one away.
Yeah,
not for the same person, unless.
But
if people want to go into the effort of setting up fake YouTube accounts, by all means, do it.
Yeah, please do.
If there's any Russian bots listening.
Steady on,
Dave. Any final words?
No, really. I've got my window up. I'm just listening to what the Speedway score is. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I think we're winning. Yeah, okay. No, just now, as you say, now I think for us all, excitement starts now. Fixtures are out. Bring it on in July, for goodness sake. Yeah, bring it on now.
Bring it
Needham
on,
Market
Joe.
on Saturday, isn't it? First game of pre-season.
Oh, you are. I saw it's a sellout.
Exclusively confirmed to me by Kieran McKenna also that we're playing Arsenal at their training ground the following Saturday.
Oh,
So if you listen to the end, that's a treat for you there. And then we go away to Loughborough from there. But I said to him, I think it'll be a slightly difference in standard between Needham Market one week and Arsenal the week after.
Quite
Will
possibly.
that be behind closed doors, Joe?
He said it's at their training ground, so I don't
London
know.
Colney, isn't it?
London
Yeah.
Colney, isn't it? Yeah. You going to Needham, Joe?
I can't. I'm away this weekend, so I'll be following the game in the Blue Monday Telegram match day chat.
Seamless.
Yeah, they'll be all over that. Yeah.
Right. Plenty of golf to fit in between now and July the 30th, Dave, and then
Loads.
Then the real sport happens again.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Right. Thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye.